Hi, welcome to the 15 Minutes podcast with Accasia Hanson from Top Towns Promotions Australia, featuring the best of independent music worldwide. Be sure to subscribe and stay blessed. Hi, welcome to the 15-minute podcast with Accasia Hanson. Today we have the lovely Mrs. Liberty Silver.
Hi.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing beautifully today, and you look absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. To start off, so people could get a bit of an introduction, can you tell us a bit about yourself, where you're from, and a bit about background on your music?
Sure, absolutely. My name's Liberty Silver, and I'm from Canada. I grew up in Peterborough, Ontario, which is not far from the main city, Toronto. Um, I arrived when I was 12 years old to Toronto. Um, and the first day I arrived, I stayed at my sister's place. I was 12 years old, and I went for an audition, and I got it. And I ended up, my first gig was opening up for Bob Marley at Madison Square Gardens at age 12.
Wow.
And after I tasted that, I never went back to Peterborough. I stayed in Toronto. I finished my education. I just gigged and recorded with everybody. The background in Peterborough was a little different. Well, not for most, but for some like myself. I was a biracial child. I was raised by English people. They adopted me.
Mm,
And one day I found that out, and I had been going through a lot of different things because of that at school. And so I said, okay, I'm going to Toronto. I'm going to go stay with my sister for the day. And that's how everything unfolded for me. And it was like Exodus movement of Cha people because I was in one situation, which was like a boiling pot, literally
mm,
for myself. And it's like I was taken from that
mm.
right away and put right where I was supposed to be.
Right, right, right. You sort of touched on this by your explanation, but what made you want to become a musician?
Um, I think it was I think it was inside of me. It was divinely put inside of me because from when I was young, my father was a first string violin player in the Peterborough Symphony, and he also taught. And I had a great love for music. I was always singing. I was always going downstairs after school. You know, you get bullied, and you have to find a way to process that for yourself. So my dad had old jazz records and instruments, and I learned how to play six instruments. I learned how to. I took all his jazz records. I started making lyrics to them, everything, and I just would. I would look at the walls and pretend there was thousands of people, and I would start singing like I was in front of people. And then I created my own songs. And then one day, what really freaked him out was I took two tape recorders and I started recording harmonies. And he goes, "How did you do that?" And I said, "Well, I wanted to see what it would sound like, right?" It was already there in me. And to tell you the truth, that is really what saved me in terms of knowing myself and being myself. I knew who I was. And that's something I always wanted to do. And magically, Soul Train would beam in every Saturday morning. And I was the only person like me in that town. So it was like, those are my people. What? It was already put there. It was put there for me, and it was something that I relied on and I leaned on and worked on while I was in that basement after school, detoxing from the other world that was outside.
Beautiful. Beautiful. What accomplishments do you want to see in the next 5 to 10 years? And that's a big question. So, like tomorrow, or what is the ultimate you want to see happen as far as music?
In terms of my music or music
Yeah,
in general.
music
Um,
career.
to change people's minds, perspectives, to show them how to love themselves, be themselves,
Yeah.
honor themselves, and then they can show their self and share their self with other people too. I think that's a
Okay.
big thing, whether they do music or not. But
Yeah.
that's what I'm here for. That's what I feel my destiny or my purpose is to open eyes and hearts and minds. And that's just a big thing for me. I truly believe that. And to accomplish that would be awesome because that takes lifetimes of changing people. Sometimes I'm very selfless. I don't do it for myself, although it makes me feel good. And I
Yeah.
love writing. I love winning awards and all that stuff. That's good. But when I see people change and
Yeah.
I recognize that spiritually, I'm like, that's it right there. That's the
Mhm.
key right there.
That's it. That's
Because
it.
we change as musicians and singers, we move mountains, we change people's minds, and I've had the opportunity to meet great people like Nelson Mandela and Desmond Tutu and just so many amazing people, and they were all mind changers too,
Mhm.
right? So once you see yourself repeating that cycle and going through that and meeting these, you go, okay, this is purpose I'm here for,
Mhm.
not for glory,
Yeah.
right? And then it becomes purpose. And every purpose that you fulfill for somebody else, not so much for yourself, and you see it manifest in front of you, you're like, wow,
You're like, amen. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, that's the good side. I'm on the right side.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. What is it about you that makes you passionate? So obviously delivering a message that can help people. Is there anything else that makes you passionate about it?
Well, who doesn't love being in love? Who
Yeah.
doesn't love feeling love? And
Yeah.
sometimes we don't always know how to react sometimes or express our emotions. So it's good for me. It's tempered me a lot because me singing about so much, like singing a lot about love and writing a lot about love, there's different ways of love. And as I'm teaching others, I'm also teaching myself.
Mm,
So I learn sometimes not to be so about things, not to be so weepy and to think about and to recognize real love and what that is and breaking that down. So
mm,
that's what the songs kind of do for other people too. They're like, you know what, that happened to me. The reason I got on the chum charts in Canada was because the DJ who played the song when he first heard it, he recognized that he went through it,
yeah.
right? So he played me every day, and that's how I got on a chart that nobody, no color of or person of background like me had ever done. So it was like shocking. I go, this guy, and I've never met him, but I go, this guy played this song 20 times a day. So it was on all the charts. And I said, this guy understands what I experienced and related to it. And it healed him in a way. So it was healing me at the same time because I realized, okay, somebody hurts you, you sing a song about them, you write it, you put it up for a Juno and a Grammy, and you win.
Mhm.
That's a win-win situation,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right?
Mhm.
So it was a funny way of
Yeah.
getting through the pain, but
Mm,
that's how it works sometimes.
mhm,
It works for self. Sometimes you're administering to other people or ministering to other people, and at the same time you're healing yourself.
mm, mm, mm. That's beautiful. Um, we said I asked you what made you start doing music. What inspired you? Was it an icon? Was it seeing people like Bob Marley on stage? Was it being able to just make music? Like what inspired you to want to come out and
Well, first of all, the bowling did it in
yeah.
Peterborough. But when I got out on the scene and I saw a lot of different artists and stuff, and I got to experience working with different people, I found what inspired me was all different kinds of music. You
Mm,
know, I took to it right away because for me, music is a vehicle of freedom, self-expression, right? And I just love that. And meeting like I met so many people in my musical career and had such good relations with people. Like I met Natalie Cole and she came into a club one night and I was singing and she came in. I go, just say boo in the mic. And then the next day she did this venue in Toronto called the Forum, which is a huge outdoor forum event, and every time she came into town after that, she would invite me up to sing. And
mm,
every birthday she would send me a gift from Tiffany's. And
um,
so when you meet people like that and you those people inspire you because you look up to them like, oh my God, it's Natalie Cole. And
mm,
then you get to know them. And I remember sitting one night at Roy Thompson Hall in Canada, which is a big theater center, and I was sitting there with Natalie Cole, Whoopi Goldberg, and Maya Angelou all at the same time.
wow,
I looked around the room and I go, yeah, this is real. This is real.
wow.
This is real.
It's real.
And
Wake up, it's not a dream.
yeah, and you're put there and you're like, okay, I'm going home now. I gotta go. I gotta go home now. I gotta
I
think
wanna
about this
stay
one
here.
now. Think about, yeah. And that's happened so much too. I was supposed to sing the national anthem when um Nelson Mandela came to town. And there's always a lot of politics with singers and their management and other singers, especially
Yeah,
with you get a really big gig. So I had
Mhm.
gotten this gig to sing the national anthem because he was free and he was coming to Canada. And 24 hours before